गोपाङ्गनानां च दुःखुलचोरम् अनेकजन्मार्जित पापचोरम् चौरग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि श्रीराधिकाया हृदय च चोरम् नवाम्बुज श्यामलकान्तिचोरम् पादाश्रितानां च समस्तचोरम् चौरग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि अकिञ्चनीकृत्य पादाश्रितं यः करोति भिक्षुं पातिगेहहीनम् केनाप्यहो भीषण चौर इन्द्रे दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि यदीयनामापि हरत्यशेषं गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराश्मिन् आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौर इन्द्रे दृष्टश्रुतो वा न मया कदापि दानं च मानं च त्वदिन्द्रियाणि प्राणं च हृत्वा मम सर्वमेव पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽद्य चोरा त्वं भक्तिदां नाशि मया निरूढा चिन्नत्सि घोरं यमपाशबन्धं भिन्नत्सि भीमं भव पाशबन्धं भिन्नत्सि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्त कृतं तु बन्धं मन्मानसे तामस राशि घोरे कारागृहे दुःख मये निबधा लभस्व हे चौर हरे चिराय स्वचौर्य दोषोचितमेव दण्डम् कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्तिपाशदृढबन्धन निश्चलः सन् त्वां कृष्ण हे प्रलयकोटिशतान्तरेऽपि सर्वस्वचौर हृदयान् नहि मोचयामि हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. Medhavani Mataji, you have finished, na, Chaurashtakam? Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all devotees. I can't see Medhavani Mataji now. Medhavani Mataji, you have finished Chaurashtakam, na?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you.
Dandavat Pranam to all assembled devotees. Dandavat Pranam to all Gurujan, Srila Prabhupada and assembled devotees. So today we are in chapter 8, the manifestation of opulences of Lord, and verse 206. So I've been asked to do this seva. So thank you all for attending the morning Chaitanya Bhagavat class. Verse 206. Shankara Naradadi Yaradasya Panasar Vaishvarya Tiraskari Brahmeda Sahana Se Prabhu Apanara Dante Trina Kari Dasya Yoga Mage Sabha Sukha Parihari. Great personalities like Shiva and Narada give up their opulence and wander about as servants of the Supreme Lord, who now gave up all happiness, took straw between his teeth and begged for devotional service. So here it is mentioned that exalted personalities like Shiva and Narada, they were wandering about the Supreme Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as servants. And here Lord was himself begging for devotional service. That worshipable Lord, in whose service great personalities like Shiva and Narada are engaged, and they have given up their respective opulences, and now took straw between his teeth of humility, and after giving up all happiness as the object of worship, they are now begging for devotional service. So the personalities like Shiva and Narada also realize that they are a Trinamatra, or they are just a servant to the Supreme Lord, and they are also begging for devotional service. Hena dasya yoga chadi ara yeba chaya amrita chadiya yena vishalagi dhaya. One who gives up such service and desires something else is like one who gives up nectar and desires poison. So people who are rejecting devotional service or not taking up devotional service but desiring something else, so that is akin to desiring the poison. So in the purport we see in the narration, one who in spite of seeing the recent example of Gaura Sundara gives up the path of devotional service and proudly becomes inclined to attain one of the four types of liberation, beginning with Salokya, Shasti, Samipya, etc., or residing on the same planet as a lord, is like one who gives up nectar to drink poison. So here it is quoted from Skanda Puran. Vasudevam parityajya yo anya devam upasate tyaktva sa modatma bhungte halahalam visham. So similar message is given in Skanda Purana that a foolish person who gives up the worship of Vasudeva and engages in the worship of the demigods is giving up nectar to drink poison. Also, it is stated in Mahabharata, Yasya tu Vishnum Parityajya Mohatanyam Upasate Sahemarajim Utsrijya Pam Sumrashim Jigarkshati. A person who out of illusion gives up the worship of all pervading Lord Vishnu and worships other demigods, gives up heaps of gold to accept heaps of ashes. So he's saying that the person who is worshipping demigods is like giving heaps of gold, but what is accepting? Is accepting ashes. Further in Narada Pancharatra, it is stated, Shri Hare Siddhasyam cha sarvam ukteha param mukhe Vaishnavanam abhimatam saratsaram parat param. The devotional service of Lord Hari is most enchanting and the best of all forms of liberations. So, what devotees do? Devotees don't want any form of liberation. So in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, Vilarupa Goswami said. So, devotees want the eternal service to the Supreme Lord. They think the four, five types of liberation are completely useless. O great sage, it is the essence of all conclusions. This is the opinion of the Vaishnavas. In Hari Bhakti Kalpalatika, it is said, Nasti dasyat parame shreyo, nasti dasyat param padam, nasti dasyat paro labho, nasti dasyat param sukham. There is nothing more auspicious than Lord Hari's service. There is no situation better than Lord Hari's service, and there is nothing better to be gained than Lord Hari's service. So there is no happiness higher than Lord Hari's service. So it is very auspicious, and that situation wherein you are doing Lord service is the most or the best situation you can have, and gaining Lord service is the best thing you can have, and also there is no other happiness than higher happiness than Lord service. So one who gets all this should feel very happy about his situation. Everything else is, you know, like a Shanabhangur. Whatever else you do is like it's like totally waste. It doesn't help you. But the service to Lord is what is carried over from one life to another life. Savakene Bhagavata Pade, sorry. Savakene Bhagavata Pade Vapadaya Bhaktira Prabhava Nahi Yahara Jivaya. Why does a person who does not describe the glories of devotional service recite or teach Srimad Bhagavatam? The recitation of those who have no knowledge about the beauty of devotional service, yet they proudly recite Srimad Bhagavatam with a desire to become the master is useless. So a person who is preaching about Srimad Bhagavatam or any of these exalted scriptures, but who is not explaining the beauty of devotional service to the Supreme Lord is a very useless thing. So when Srila Prabhupada said devotion, devotion, bhakti, bhakti, he always qualified it as devotional service. Everywhere, right? From Srimad Bhagavad Gita to Srimad Bhagavatam through Chaitanya Charitamrita, everywhere Srila Prabhupada has quoted that the person you love him the most, what will you do for him? So the best way you will do for him, you're not going to sit in awe, worshipping with awe and reverence, but you will serve him nicely. So you will serve like you serve your children at home, you serve your loved ones at home. Similarly, you know that our Mata, Pita, our brother, sister, everything is represented by Lord Krishna. So you would serve him very nicely. शास्त्रेरा न जानी मर्मा अध्यापन करे गर्भादेरा प्रायायेन शास्त्रा बाही मारे ए माता शास्त्रा बाहे अर्थ नाही जाने अधम सा भाया अर्थ अधम वाखाने. Those who teach the scriptures without understanding their purport are simply carrying the burden of the scripture like asses. In this way, they carry the burden of the scriptures without understanding their purpose. They present irrational meanings to irrational audiences. So, further clarification is being given here that one has to understand the essence of scriptures when one is telling it to others or when one it is teaching to others. Another reading of Sabhaya or audiences is Swabhava or nature. There are proud teachers of Srimad Bhagavatam who display their pride by presenting non-devotional conclusions, and they are akin to asses who simply carry burden without understanding the scriptural statements. So they uselessly labor to teach and study the scriptures. The purport explained by such professional non-devotee reciter of Srimad Bhagavatam to unqualified audiences is completely abominable. So the author says, Vrindavan Das Thakurji says here that one should understand the essence of scriptures, essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, essence of Srimad Bhagavad Gita before giving it to the audiences. So a person who is a non-devotee, he is just reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam and he is giving it to the unqualified audiences, and which is completely discouraged here. In Padma Purana, it is stated, विप्रेर भगवती वर्ता गेहे गेहे जाने जाने करिता धना लोभेन कथा सारस्ततो गता. Brahmanas will describe the topics of the Krishna's pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam from house to house in order to accumulate wealth. Therefore, their audience will not achieve devotional service, which is the essence of hearing such topics. So, it is said that people there are three types of people who, when they go to preach, some are doing for their stomach. So when they do it for the stomach, which means they are getting something in return for giving Krishna Katha or talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. So when they are doing this, they are not able to give devotional service to others. But those who are doing it from their heart, they can give the transformation, or they can give them the inspiration to others who are taking up or listening to the Krishna Katha. In Manu Samhita, it is said, and there are also people who do it from their buddhi, from their mind, and there they are just trying to show their prowess and intelligence. So that will also not benefit the audience. So let's go to this verse in Manu Samhita. Yam vadanti tamo bhuta murkhadhar dharmam ata vidattat papam papam satada bhutva tad vakritin anugacchati. Those who instruct religious principles in spite of being foolish in the mode of ignorance or ignorant of religion incur 100 times more sin than their audience. Further, it is stated in Manu Samhita, Britak Adhyapako Yascha Britak Adhyapitastata Shudra Shishyo Guruschaiva Vagdushta Kundago Lakau. Those who charge fees for teaching. So like I was saying, people charge money those who pay fees for studying, and those who are disciples of Shudras, and those who are spiritual masters of Shudras, those who speak harshly, and those who are illegitimate sons of mothers whose actual husband is still alive, and those who are legitimate sons of mothers whose husband is dead should not be allowed to participate in Shraddha ceremonies or Vedic rituals in Vedic rituals. In the Padma Purana, it is stated, Avaisnava mukhotgirnam putam harikatamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochistam yatapaya. No one should hear or take lessons from a person who is not a Vaishnava. Even if he speaks about Krishna, such a lesson should not be accepted. For it is like milk touched by the lips of a serpent. Sarpo uchishtam. It is stated in Brahma Vaivarta Purana that Shudranam Supakaricha Yohare Nama Vikrayo Vidya Vikrayi Vipro Vishahino Yatoragaha. One who is devoid of devotional service to Krishna, who cooks for Shudras, and who charges money to initiate disciples in chanting the holy names, or who lectures on the scriptures for pay, is like a poisonous snake. Further, more references are quoted here. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Na Shishyan Anubandita Bandhanita Granta Naiva Bhashed Bahun Na Vyakyam Upayunjita Narabhan Arabhet Kvachit. A sannyasi must not represent allurements of material benefits to gather many disciples, nor should he unnecessarily read many books or give discourses as a means of livelihood. He must never attempt to increase material opulences unnecessarily. So, a sannyasi who is going to show that, okay, if you do this, you're going to get this, this benefit, or if you do this, you will achieve some position in life. So, one should not go for such a sannyasi or such discourses, because material benefits are shanabhangur. Material benefits are not for which a human being should be, or a devotee should be craving for. So, the ultimate benefit is we have to go for the bhakti of Supreme Lord. And unnecessarily accumulating material opulences, etc., are unnecessary, are not required. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Aham Vedmi Sukho Veti, the following ancient statement of Lord Shiva is quoted, wherein Aham Vedmi Sukho Veti, Vyaso Veti na Veti, Bhaktya Bhagavatam Grahayam na Buddhya na Chatikaya. I may know, Shukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadev, may know, and Vyasadeva may know, or may not know the Srimad Bhagavatam. On the whole, Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless Purana and can be learned only through devotional service, not by material intelligence or speculative methods or imaginary commentaries. So, when one approaches Srimad Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavad Gita, one approaches with lot of humility. One accepts the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna. Only for those people who accept the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Krishna and who approaches these scriptures through book Bhagavata or Vyakti Bhagavata, they can able to understand the scriptures and at the same time do devotional service by reading the scriptures. Vede Bhagavate kahe dasya bada dhana dasya lagi rama aja bhavera yatana. The Vedas and Srimad Bhagavatam declare that service to the Lord is the greatest treasure. Lakshmi, Brahma, and Shiva are always engaged in such service. So, we heard in previous classes that how Lakshmi ji is very tatpar, that she wants to be um, uh, serving Lord Krishna, and she wants to be part of the Rasalila pastime, but she is unable to, for which she is doing austerities, but she is still not able to enter the Rasalila pastime because of her Aishwarya Bhav. Similarly, Lord Brahma and Shiva, Shiva is Gopeshwar Mahadev, as waiting, and he is also eager to serve Lord Krishna. And Brahma in his Brahma Vimon Leela, and thereafter in his Brahma's prayers in Canto 10, chapter 14, he says that Supreme Lord, he is not able to understand. After offering so many prayers, Brahma says, I am not able to understand you. So what would be the position of all of us? So he says, I'm sorry that I tried to test you, and then it completely bewildered Lord Brahma. चैतन्येर वाक्यारा नाही का प्रमाणा चैतन्य नाही का तारा की बाली बयाना. Anyone who does not believe in the words of Lord Chaitanya cannot attain him. What more can I say? The words of Chaitanya Deva are the crest jewel of all conclusions. Devotional service alone is the supreme goal of life. One who does not have this conviction is averse to Lord Chaitanya and fit to be called a fool. The Vedic literatures and Srimad Bhagavatam, which it is the essence of all Vedas, fully establish the prominence of devotional service. Narayana's goddess of fortune, as well as Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, are all servants of the Supreme Lord. Sri Chakravarti Thakura has written, आराध्य भगवान ब्रजेश तनयस्तद्धाम वृंदावनम रम्या काश्चित् उपासना व्रजवधो वर्गेण वीर्य कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतम अमल पुराणम प्रेमा पुमार्तो महान श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्राधरा नापरा. So there are four important points given here by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura, that the Aradhya Bhagavan one should worship is the Tanaya, or the son of Brajesha Tanaya. He is the son of Braja Bhumi. Okay, and that is none other than Lord Krishna. Okay, Ramya Kachid Upasana Brajavadu, who is worshipped by the Brajavadus or the gopis of the land. Vargena ya kalpita, and Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Puran. It has no mal. It is completely about the devotees and about the glorification of the Supreme Lord, about Lord Krishna. Whereas Sri Bhagavad Gita is the song or the teachings of Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam, that is the mat or the evidence given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is. So when the Lord left this material world or became aprakat, he left behind with us the Srimad Bhagavatam, as given in Canto 1, Chapter 3, that he left behind this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is none other than transcendental representation of Supreme Personality of God, Krishna. The personality of Godhead, the son of Nanda Maharaja, is the one we have to worship along with his transcendental abode, Vrindavana. And that is the meaning of the verse which we just read. The most pleasing form of worship for the Lord is that which was performed by the gopis of Vrindavan. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Gopir Bharata Pada Kamalayor, Dasa Dasa Anudasa. We have to follow the footsteps of gopis in their Dasa Dasa Dasanubhava. Only then we can get Braja Prem. And Srimad Bhagavatam is the spotless authority, and pure love of God is the ultimate goal of life. So one who respects Srimad Bhagavatam and does the devotional service by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, he is attaining the Krishna Prema. These statements for which we have the highest regard, and these are the opinion. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam, this is the opinion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. दास्य भावे नाचे प्रभु श्री गौर सुंदर चौदी के कीर्तन ध्वनि अति मनोहर. Shri Gaur Sundara danced in the mood of a servant as the enchanting sound of Kirtana vibrated in all directions. Sunite Sunite Shane Haya Murchita Trinakare Takhane Advaita Upanita. By listening to the Kirtana, Advaita Acharya sometimes lost consciousness and he took straw in his hands and he approached the Supreme Lord. Apada mastaka trine nischiyalai yanija Shri tui nache bhurukuti kariya. He covered his entire body with grass and kept some on his head as he frowned while dancing. Advaite re bhakti deki shabara tarasa nityananda gadadara tui jane hasa. Everyone was frightened to see Advaita Acharya's devotional service, but Nityananda Prabhu and Gaur Sundara simply laughed at it. Nache Prabhu Gaura Chandra Jagata Jivana Avasera Anta Nahi Haya Gane Gana. In this way, Gaura Sundara, Sri Gaura Sundara, the life of the entire universe, he danced and he repeatedly expressed unlimited varieties of mood. Yaha nahi deki suni Shri Bhagavate Hena Sabha Vikara Prakashe Sachi Sute. The son of Sachi manifested many wonderful transformations of ecstatic love that are not found or heard in Srimad Bhagavatam. The transformation of ecstatic love by Gaurasundara that are not even seen in Srimad Bhagavatam were manifested in the transcendental body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shane Shane Sarva Anga Haya Stambha Kriti Tilar Tilar Dekha no naite nahi ka shakati. Sometimes his entire body will be stunned in such a way that no one could even slightly bend his body. So that was again one of his ecstatic reactions in his body because of his bhakti towards the Supreme Lord. Here, Lord himself comes. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Lord himself, but he comes as a devotee in the mood of Radharani. He comes as a devotee. And he, in his sannyasi or in his bhakti bhav, he shows how to do bhakti to Supreme Personality of Lord, Krishna. Stei ange shane shane hena mata haya asti matra nahi hena navanita maya. Sometimes that the same body became slackened in such a way that it became as soft as navanit or butter without any bones. Kaha Kako na dekhiye anga guna dui tina kako na swabhava aite atisayashina. Sometimes his body appeared to double or triple in size, and sometimes it appeared to shrink. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in one of his leelas in Jagannath Puri, he jumped into the ocean, thinking that it was Yamuna, and he was not found for the next couple of days, few days. Then a fisherman, while fishing, he could spot Chaitanya Mahaprabhu floating in the water, and then he brought him. So people couldn't, bring him back to consciousness for some time, and they were literally scared because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in such ecstasy, had the ocean. Kakona va mata yena tuli tuli yaya. Asiya dolayanga ananda sadaya. Sometimes he was intoxicated in such a way that he tottered like a drunkard, and sometimes he swayed back and forth while laughing. Text 224, I think this will be the final verse for today. Sakala Vaishnave Prabhu Dekhi Eke Eke Bhava Veshe Purva Mama Nama Dhari Dhari Dake. Seeing all the Vaishnavas, the Lord called each one of them by the name they bore in their previous birth. So the Lord, who is the knower of everything, he knew in their previous birth what were their name, and he used to call all the Vaishnavas, and that is the glory of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll take this one more verse. Haladhara Shiva Shukha Narada Prahlada Rama Aja Uddhava Baliya Kare Nada. He loudly addressed them. Haladhara, Balram, he called Nityananda Balram, Shiva, Sukadeva, Narada, and Prahlada, Rama, Aja, and Uddhava. In this way, he used to address the Vaishnavas who were around him. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for listening patiently. And Dandavat Pranam to all.
Thank you for the wonderful session, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
So we'll end the session if no one has any comments or questions. Yeah.